Massive pro-police and walk-away rallies sweep across the nation over the weekend as conservative America stands up to the left-wing rot threatening our country. In this video, we're going to take a look at all the Back the Blue and walk-away rallies that were held across America over the weekend, celebrating our nation and law enforcement, and how they demonstrate that the optimistic pro-America vision of conservatives promises to shine right into November. You're not going to want to miss this. Greetings, everyone. Dr. Steve here. Great to be with you as always. If this is your first time here with us at this channel, I post 2 videos a day analyzing current events, analyze some super awesome conservative trends so that you can live in the present in light of even better things to come. We help you to think better so you can feel better. So if you haven't already done so, you know what to do. Make sure to smack that bell and subscribe button. It'd be an absolute privilege to have you as a regular part of this channel, where each and every day we together celebrate the collapse of left-wing globalism and the unstoppable rise of a new conservative age. But first, with our rapid advances in science over the years, there are more powerful and effective ways to boost your immune system than just taking mega doses of vitamin C. In fact, our sponsors over at BioTrust have combined 4 of the world's best immune-supporting powerhouses, along with that mega dose of vitamin C, into their #1 immunity support product, Ageless Body. Simply put, Ageless Body provides you 5 of the most powerful immune-supporting ingredients available. I take it every day, and I absolutely love it, and I know you will too. Now, best of all, if you click on that link below today, you can now get Ageless Body at their lowest price ever, up to 51% off, and free shipping in the US to boot. So don't wait. Click on that link below or go to agewithsteveturley.com and give your immune system an awesome boost today. All right, gang, let's dive right in here. What a beautiful weekend. Or better, what a perfect juxtaposition of 2 Americas, right? So we have one America, urban America, that's just utterly imploding, right? You'll definitely want to check out our latest video. We just uploaded it on the riots that are once again infesting the rotting Democrat-dominated city of Chicago, which is just a microcosm of virtually all the cities in our nation that have become nothing more than dilapidated hellholes under Democrat monopolies. So you got Chicago rotting under the weight of the race riots, which this time have been inspired by a police shooting of an armed assailant who was shooting at them. So if these riots are being sparked by police simply defending themselves from suspects that are shooting them, then Chicago's done. It's over. You have a complete and total societal breakdown. So you've got this juxtaposition over the weekend between imploding cities that are literally collapsing under the rot of decades of Democrat rule. And then on the other side of this chasm, you've got this majestic and glorious, all these rallies of law-abiding citizens across the nation celebrating and supporting our nation and our law enforcement officers that have done an amazing job, particularly under the sane circumstances they've been under, working under these lunatic liberal so-called lawmakers. Remember, the Democrats are now lawmakers that side with lawbreakers while throwing law enforcement under the bus. And so we saw across the country a number of rallies with tens of thousands of Americans all coming out to support our nation, to support our president, and most especially to support our law enforcement officers. So let's begin with Beverly Hills, California, where there was a celebratory rally of over 400 demonstrators for what was called the Rescue America Rally in front of the iconic Beverly Hills sign on Saturday. The rally was put together by a movement known as #WalkAway, founded by Brandon Straka. If you don't know, Brandon is a gay hairdresser, and once you're a quintessential liberal, in fact, he was devastated over Hillary Clinton's loss in 2016. But like so many others, Brandon was eventually red-pilled, and he founded a movement that exposes the Democratic Party as no longer a viable option for anyone who wants to think for themselves, anyone who wants to think. Straka noticed that the Democrats seek to control and intimidate their followers through the use of fear, right? Just if you think this through, right? You vote for Trump, and you're going to unleash the radical right on America. You vote for Trump, and they're going to throw you into prison. Whatever. Straka recognized that even within the gay community, you have this whole notion of white privilege being forced upon him. He was being told, you're male, you're white, and you're gay, so you have the ultimate privilege. So he realized, this is insane. I mean, this nonsense never ends. And so Brandon and tens of thousands of other Democrats are saying, enough. This is over. We just walk away from the Democratic Party and their love affair with this insanity, with this, cultural Marxist left-wing identity politics. And so a few years back, Brandon founded the #WalkAway movement. And since its founding, tens of thousands of other Democrats are saying the same thing. Enough of the fear and intimidation. They are posting their 5-minute video testimonials on the WalkAway Facebook page and Twitter pages on why they are leaving the Democrat Party once and for all. It really is just amazing to see literally tens of thousands of one-time Democrats repudiating the party and its tactics of manipulation and intimidation through fear. And so this demonstration in Beverly Hills drew hundreds of supporters waving American flags, holding up Trump 2020 signs. It was really, really cool. Let's go upwards to Seattle. An estimated 5,000 demonstrators came out to support the Seattle Police Department as their insane leftist liberal Democrat-dominated legislature considers defunding them. Now, you'll be encouraged to know that a bunch of Black Lives Matter protesters came out to try to disrupt the rally. This was at Seattle's City Hall, but only a couple of hundred BLM protesters showed up. So they found that they were radically outnumbered by all the pro-police support, and so they end up leaving it with their tail between their legs. Police across the nation were receiving massive support in the midst of this insane call to defund the police among Democrats, which has got to be the single most unpopular political proposal that any political party has ever pursued, bar none. But nevertheless, let's go over to Colorado. Here's another one that's going to encourage you. So at Fort Collins, you had a massive pro-police, pro-law enforcement rally called Back the Blue. And a bunch of BLM and Antifa thugs once again showed up and, well, to put it bluntly, they got the crap beaten out of them. What happened was that you had a BLM rally at just a few people earlier in the day, as I understand it, across the street from where this massive Back the Blue rally began to form. And things were fine until the BLM activists got all woke and crossed the street to confront the Back the Blue supporters. And that's when they found that they got surrounded, and let's just say things didn't turn out so well for the BLM Antifa guys. And the joke of all of it, of course, the ironic joke, and I kid you not on this, you actually had leftist activists on Instagram complaining that the police didn't do anything about it. I mean, let that hit you! How hilarious that is. Let's move over to Cleveland, Ohio. There was another Back the Blue rally there where hundreds came out to support law enforcement officers, and this was held at the same time that there was an anti-police rally. The two rallies were coterminant with one another, but there was no violence. So let's go over to Raleigh, North Carolina. More than 200 people assembled there in downtown Raleigh to show their support for members of law enforcement and for America as a whole. Again, many were carrying Trump 2020 signs. They were flying their American flags. They had Trump t-shirts. So clearly this weekend was the site of a mass uprising of what we call mid-America, right? That American heartland where nationalism, populism, and traditionalism reigns supreme. The so-called silent majority, which is silent no longer. We do have studies that show that riots and acts of civil violence and destruction have the effect of making America more conservative. We've talked about this in other videos. As it turns out, riots don't win elections for Democrats. An assistant professor over at the Department of Politics at Princeton published a paper concluding that the political effects of riots consistently benefit the political right. And we also knew that as the Democrats were throwing law enforcement under the bus, that the political right would end up getting the police on their side. Police forces in our nation are taking sides, and as it turns out, it is not with kneeling with the rioters and looters and the far left protesters and demonstrators like so many of their politically correct police chiefs were doing across the country. No. Again, that was all staged, right? That was staged for the CNN cameras so that these left-wing activists disguised as journalists could continue to shove their BS down our throats, that the world was going woke. We now know that that was all a lie. And we know that because the National Association of Police, which is the single largest national police organization in the country. It represents more than 1,000 different police associations and organizations, nearly 250,000 police officers. They have officially endorsed President Trump for re-election. They have turned their backs on Joe Biden, who they endorsed along with Barack Obama back in 2012. Over 2/3 of their membership, a supermajority, endorsed Trump. So with this said, it was only a matter of time before reality came back and bit these left-wing activists disguised as journalists in our mainstream Marxist media. Americans do not want BLM. They don't want Antifa. They are not woke. Indeed, it is quite the opposite. And nothing is demonstrating this more than these massive pro-police rallies surging throughout our nation. Now, again, we've talked about this in brief just in our last video, but we really are in the midst of a clash. Some are calling it a civil war or the makings of a civil war, but it is definitely a clash. And it's a clash between those who hate our nation, those who love it. Those who want to recast our nation as inherently wicked and bigoted and sexist and racist, and those who believe that our nation and its customs, culture, and tradition are good and are worth fighting for. It's a clash between those who want to destroy our nation and those who want to defend it, between those who want to punish our nation, those who want to protect and preserve it. And here's the key, and I think it's essential to understanding this clash. It's a dialectic clash. That means that the more intense one side becomes, the other side feels the pressure to increase its intensity as well. It's very similar to a Cold War, although this one is fast becoming quite hot of late. As each side moves and develops, the other side feels the need to respond in kind. It's dialectic, right? And up to this point, Mid-America has largely been consigned to winning local and regional elections, as well as House and Senate elections, gubernatorial elections, while leftists have basically been able to hold on to the White House, even with neocons with George W. Bush. Think of kind of the joke candidates we had in 2008, 2012 for the GOP. That all changed in 2016. Mid-America won the White House. Nationalist populists won the White House. We won the Senate. We won the majority of the governorships, state legislatures, House of Representatives. And the left absolutely freaked out. From day one, this is what Attorney General Bill Barr just said over the weekend. From day one, they've been trying to impeach and destroy this president. The left has utterly and completely freaked out. And now they've erupted within their urban centers, their cities, in these mass race riots that, in the most Orwellian sense, actually blame law enforcement for it. Let that hit you. These Democrat-dominated cities don't blame Democrats for their misfortune. They blame law enforcement for these mass riots. And Middle America is coming out and saying, you know what? You know what? This is why we voted for Trump. We voted for Trump precisely in response to this kind of lunacy, this self-destructive lunacy we want nothing to do with. And President Trump is the only one who stands between us and these leftist loons. So we're in a clash, and it is beautiful to see that our side of this clash is alive and well. We're optimistic. We're hopeful. We stand for something, right? We're not merely against. We want to protect and preserve, not just simply destroy and defile. And I think that hopeful sentiment is precisely what's going to prevail in November in such a way that will deal the left a blow quite literally like they've never felt before. Now, before you go, make sure to like this video, comment down below, and subscribe to my channel. And make sure to check out the latest video I just uploaded on Democrat-ruined Chicago, absolutely imploding as rioting and looting erupt throughout that far-left city. You are not going to want to miss that. So make sure to click on the link, and I will see you over there. God bless.